Do you know why everybody loves Friday? Because of the weekend? No, because it's payday. What's up everybody, I am Jasprit Singh from the MinorityMindset.com, where money minds rethink rich. You just got paid and now you got a pocket full of cash, and the question is, where do you blow this money? Before you drive on over to the Gucci store and buy yourself a new wardrobe, what you talking about, Jasprit? I can shop online now. The first key to becoming rich or becoming wealthy or becoming financially free is to use your paycheck and to use your income the right way. That way you can build your wealth first, but that requires you to know how to use your paycheck. This is where everybody says, oh, all you need to do is create a budget. Well, lots of Americans have a budget, but most of those people don't actually use their budget. There's a lot more to what you do with your money than just having a budget and keeping a budget. That's why in this video, I'm going to go through step by step the 7 things you need to do with your money as soon as you get paid. That way you can build your wealth first. But before we get into those 7 things, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash that thumbs up button below, because of the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you do not smash that thumbs up button, then YouTube is much less likely to show you and other people our financial news and education videos. The first thing you have to do is have your net income deposited directly into your checking account. I call it your net income because, well, every dollar you earn is not every dollar you keep. As soon as you make money, the first thing that's going to happen is the government is going to take their share in taxes, so whatever's left is your net. As soon as you get paid, the government's going to take their share of taxes, but some of you are going to have the option to invest your money before or after your taxes, depending on what kind of system you use, usually something like a 401k. So if that's something you're using at your job, this would either be right here or here if you're using a Roth 401k. So as soon as you pay your taxes, you pay your 401k if you have one, then your net income needs to be deposited directly into your checking account. I used to guest teach in Detroit public schools, and what I learned there was they had all these kids that were working jobs, but many of these kids did not have a checking account where their paychecks were deposited into. Instead, these kids were getting physical checks, and then they were taking their checks and they would go over to a liquor store, and then they would pay the liquor store owner 1 to 10% of their paycheck to get cash for their own money. So you're having to pay a liquor store owner cash to get access to your own money, and then once they have this cash, half of the check is going to go to Cheetos and pop on the way out. You need your money deposited directly into your checking account, and one of the worst things that you can do is rely on payday loans to make ends meet for 2 or 3 days. The way payday loans work is for every $100 or so that you borrow, your payday loan company is going to charge you somewhere between $10 and $30. Now, this $10 or $30 fee might not seem like a lot of money, but compared to how much money you're borrowing, and that 10 or 30% interest that you have to pay is just for borrowing money for a month. That's why if you amortize the real cost of your payday loans over the course of a year, these payday loans are actually costing you somewhere between 300% APR and 500% APR. Okay, payday loans are destroying your wealth. So create a calendar, know when your money's coming in. That way you can rely on your actual income and not the payday loan. The second thing you have to do is save $2,000 in a separate savings account as fast as possible. This $2,000 that you want to save needs to go in a separate savings account because this is emergency money. This is money if your car breaks down or if something really bad happens, you can rely on this cash to protect you. That way you don't have to go into debt or use your credit card to finance something that you cannot afford. This money needs to be saved as soon as possible, because if you do not have $2,000 saved up for an emergency, you are in financial danger. Okay, before they used to say, oh, all you need is $1,000 to start your savings account, but that was like 2 decades ago. Now, if you factor in inflation and the increased price and cost of living, you need at least $2,000 right now saved up for an emergency so you get out of this danger financial zone. The reason I'm saying this needs to go into a separate savings account, not the stock market or any other investment account, is because this money needs to be liquid, meaning in cash, which means easily accessible, and it needs to be predictable. If you put this money in the stock market, well, if the stock market tanks tomorrow and you need this cash, well, this $2,000 might only be worth $1,000. So you need this cash somewhere in a predictable liquid account, like a savings account. That way you can access it whenever you need in case you need it. But this is not money you should be using when Apple releases a new phone. So if you do not have a separate savings account, or if you do not have $2,000 saved up right now for emergencies, what you need to do is you need to open up a new savings account tomorrow, and then next time you get paid, you need to save as much of that paycheck as you can as fast as possible, because you need to get to $2,000 saved as fast as humanly possible. Now, as soon as you get paid your net salary, so this is after your taxes, after your 401k investment, this net income that you make is going to hit your checking account automatically. Then what you need to do is you need to save $2,000 as fast as possible in a separate savings account. So if you don't have $2,000 saved up yet, you need to take as much of your net income as possible and put this money into this account. That way you can save $2,000, because if you don't have $2,000 saved up, you are in financial danger. Then it's time for step number 3. Now we're going to pay down your high interest debts. So after you have $2,000 saved up, what you want to do is you want to pay down any high interest debt. So this might be credit card debt, this might be payday loans. So any high interest debt that you have, you want to pay this down as fast as possible right now after you save $2,000, because this money is skinning you alive financially. This money that you're paying 15, 16, 17% interest on is so expensive, and it is destroying your wealth. It is making your credit card company wealthy. It is making your hard money lender wealthy. It is making this payday loan company wealthy, but it is keeping you broke. You need to save this $2,000 first, because if you don't save this $2,000 and you start paying down your credit card debt, and then your car breaks down, and then you have to pay $800 to fix your axle, well, now you're gonna have to go back into credit card debt to have the money to fix the car. So you took a step forward, and then you took 2 steps backward. That's why you need to save some cash first while making your minimum payments, and then when you have a little bit of a cushion, now you need to be aggressive at paying down all of your high interest debts. Once you have this $2,000 cash savings, and once you pay down this high interest debt, and typically this is going to be anything that's not a mortgage, that's not a student loan, that's not your car payment, so really anything that's over like 6% a year. Once you pay this high interest debt down, now you're going to do 4, 5, and 6 at the exact same time. But let's start with number 4. Number 4 is investing 15% of your income. So I'll put number 4, invest. And what you're going to do now is, after you have this $2,000 saved up in a savings account, and after you don't have this high interest debt anymore, now what's going to happen is anytime you get this paycheck, you got your net money coming and hitting your checking account, you're going to take 15% of whatever's in there. So for every $100 you make, $15 is going to go into an investment account. So there's a few different ways you can do this, and it depends on what your risk tolerance is. One way that you can do this is you can open up a separate checking account in your bank, and anytime you get paid, 15% of your paycheck can automatically be withdrawn from your checking account here and be deposited here. The reason is you want to make sure this money in your investment account is going to build you wealth. You don't want this money going to buy you a new TV when TVs are on sale. We talk a ton about investing on our YouTube channel, which is why if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should do that. But there's a few different ways that you can invest this money depending on your risk tolerance. If you don't like to take a ton of risk, one thing that you can do that will give you a guaranteed return on your money, guaranteed, is you can pay down now your remaining low interest debt. So that means your mortgage, your student loans. You can use this extra cash to pay down your debt faster, because now if you pay down your student loans 1 year early, you're getting a guaranteed 6% return on your money. Because if you're paying 6% interest to your student loan lender, and you pay it off a year early, that 6% interest you no longer have to pay to your lender. When it comes to paying down your debt, there's a couple of different strategies that you can use to pay down your debt quickly. One's called the debt snowball, and the other is the debt avalanche. The debt snowball method is where now you're gonna pay down the smallest debt amount first. So if you have 5 different debts, one that's $15,000, one that's $3,000, one that's $400, one that's $12,000, and one that's $600, what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the smallest debt. I think that was the $400 one. It doesn't matter what the interest rates are, you're gonna pay down the smallest amount of debt first. That way you can get the small wins. Psychologically, what that tells you is, wow, I just knocked down one of my debts, and now I can go to the second debt and then the third debt. So you're gonna go in order from the smallest to the biggest, and you're going to ignore interest rates on this, because your goal is just to get the small psychological wins. This is the method that Dave Ramsey preaches, because he finds that this is what keeps people on pace to pay down their debt, because now you're getting those small wins. The other option is the debt avalanche method, where now you're paying down your debts by the interest rates. You find the debt that has the highest interest rate first, and you're gonna pay that one down first because that one's costing you the most money. Now, over the long term, if you can stick to both of these, then the debt avalanche is going to save you more money because you're going to pay less interest. But if this debt snowball method is what you can stick to, then do that. It doesn't matter which one you do. I just want you to pay down your debt. So if this one works, do that. If you would rather do this one, then do this. You can invest this money to grow your mind. So that means you can use this money to buy books. You can use it to buy classes, to attend seminars, things that will enhance your mind, enhance your financial education. That way you can make better decisions with your money, maybe earn more money. Or if you don't have any debt or you want to be more of an aggressive investor, you can use this money to invest directly into the stock market or into real estate. One of the most effective ways to invest this money into the stock market is to create an automatic passive investment. But now, instead of creating a separate checking account for this, what you can do is create a brokerage account that will automatically invest your money every week or every month whenever you get paid and anytime you get paid, so you can tell the brokerage how much money to take out. 15% of your paycheck is going to automatically be invested for you every single pay period. So whether it's every week or every 2 weeks or every month, you can decide this. And now this money is automatically invested. You're not even going to see it. Anytime you get paid, this money is automatically going to go into the stock market. And this is going to build another investment account for you that's going to be working to build your wealth without you physically having to do anything because it's all passive. If you want to learn more about how to do this, our team has written articles about this on our website, theminority-mindset.com. And I'll also link an article for you up here and in the description below. By the way, this type of investing is called passive investing. Or you can use this money to invest in real estate. And when I say real estate, I don't mean a home that you're going to live in yourself. I mean an investment property that you're going to rent out to somebody else. The other option, if you want to be more of an active investor, is you can put this money into a separate checking account, and then whenever an investment deal comes your way, maybe it's the business idea you like, maybe it's real estate, maybe it's a specific stock that you want to invest in, when this money comes your way, then you can deploy this cash as an investment, but it needs to go into a separate account. That way you know not to accidentally touch this money and use it to buy a new TV or use it to buy AirPods, because it's in a separate account that's only going to be used to invest and build you wealth. As you are doing this, what you're also going to be doing consecutively is number 5, saving some money, because now what's going to happen, you have 15% of your paycheck going over here. You also want 10% of your paycheck going here to your savings account. Remember, the savings account is money that you're using for emergencies only. Okay, and once you have this $2,000 cushion built up, that's a small cushion, but you need to build that bigger. You ideally want to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved. So if you're spending $3,000 a month, you want to have a minimum, a very minimum of $9,000 saved up. And if you really want to be a big saver, you can save a year's worth of expenses, but I don't recommend really saving more than that, because after that, inflation is really just eating away at your savings. But in order to build the savings account, you need to build a system where now some of your money, here 10% of your income, is going directly to your savings account anytime you get paid. So again, this is a separate savings account, and anytime you get paid, for every dollar you get paid, 10 cents is going to go directly into the savings account. So if you make $100, $10 goes here, because now you are going to automatically be saving money without even thinking about it. And you need this cushion to protect you from any sort of emergency that will happen. That way you can sleep easier knowing that if something bad were to happen, you don't have to go into debt because you have the savings cushion built. Remember how I said the 4, 5, and 6 happen at the same time? Well, you're going to be investing this money at the same time. You're going to be putting this money away for your savings at the same time. And you're also going to be doing number 6, which is spending at the exact same time. So what's going to happen now is, in this account, your checking account, you are now going to be left with 75% of your remaining net pay. So I guess you can call this your net pay, because this net pay was after your taxes and your 401k, and now the 75% is after you paid yourself. It's after you invested your money to build your wealth, and it's after you saved your money to protect you. But this is where you have to be careful, because now you need to know the difference between a need and a want when it comes to spending your money. This is gonna sound like common sense, but as we all know, common sense isn't very common. When it comes to the spending money, you wanna make sure you spend your money on needs before you spend your money on wants. Now, what you need to do is you really need to understand the difference between a need and a want, because that might seem obvious, but people's financial decisions speak very differently. You need a car to get to and from work, but you just want the newest BMW. You need a phone. You just want the newest iPhone. You need guacamole. You just want to pay the store $5 for an extra side of guacamole. I want you to be able to buy and afford all the wants that you want. But you need to make sure you can afford them first, which is why you need to prioritize your needs before your wants. Because if you don't prioritize your needs before your wants, what you're gonna say is, oh, Jaspreet, how do you expect me to save 10% of my income and invest 15% of my income? But then at the same time, you have $450 going to your car payment every single month. You're spending $100 a month on your cell phone, and you're paying $120 a month on your monthly massage membership. You need to know what your needs are and your wants are. Right now, you need to become wealthy, which is why you want to make sure you're paying yourself first by investing your money and saving your money. Now, based off of this money that's left, you need to live off of this money, and the only way that you can do that the right way is by knowing what you need and what you want. Your car, your cell phone, eating out, and buying drinks outside are some of the biggest wants that people are turning into needs. I get it, you need a car, you need a phone, you need food, but you don't need a Beamer. You don't need the newest phone, and you don't need to be eating out 5 times a week. Those are wants that we're turning into needs, and that's destroying your ability to build future wealth. Everybody gives the example of how much money you could save if you just made your coffee at home instead of going to Starbucks. Well, I don't drink coffee, so I can't relate to that, but I drink tea. I like nice teas, and if I want to drink a nice tea, it's gonna cost me something like 25 cents to 35 cents, and we're talking nice teas, for making a glass of tea at home. If I bought the same tea outside somewhere at the coffee shop or at a tea shop, it is going to cost me at least $3 for the same tea. Now, if you're also eating lunch outside, which I know a lot of you are, it is gonna cost you, assuming you're eating healthy, $14 to get a wrap and soup. If you made that same wrap and soup at home, assuming we're using nice, healthy products, it's gonna cost you something like $4. So $10 here and another $2.50 here. $12.50 you can save every single day, 5 days a week, just by making your tea at home and just by making your wrap at home instead of treating this want as a need. And if you just calculate out how much money this would save you over the course of a year, because there's a lot of people that are eating out for lunch every single day, and there's a lot of people that are buying their tea or coffee from outside every single day, that's $2 and some change plus $10 and some change. Let's say $12.25 times 5 days a week times 52 weeks a year, that's more than $3,100 a year that you could save to put towards your investments or towards your savings just by understanding the difference between a need and a want. This one's pretty simple to understand, but what about those impulse purchases? You're going on Amazon and you see a special deal on a new coffee maker, or you see a brand new deal on a new massage gun. What about that? Well, one of the things that you can do to help understand the difference between a need and a want and really think about these purchases before you actually spend money that you don't want to spend is using something called the 24-hour rule. The 24-hour rule just says that before you make one of these impulse decisions, breathe and tell yourself you're going to wait 24 hours before you make that purchasing decision. You are going to find that you're going to stop yourself from buying a whole bunch of unnecessary crap that you're never going to use just by thinking about it for one day. Alright, so I just cleaned this up for you so it's easier to understand. You started by getting your net income after paying your taxes and your 401k money. Once you get that, the first thing you want to do is save $2,000 in a separate savings account. Once you get that $2,000 saved up, then we're getting rid of all of the high interest debt. Once you got this high interest debt taken care of, then you're going to be investing 15% of this money. This money is going to build your wealth, whether it's through education or paying down your debt or investing your money into stocks or real estate, something that's going to help build your wealth and your financial freedom. As you're doing that, 10% of your money is also going to be saved in this separate savings account. That way you have a cushion to protect you from any sort of financial emergency. That way you can sleep easier knowing that even if something bad happens financially, you are going to be okay because you have savings. And then you are going to keep 75% of your income in this checking account as you're spending money, but you're going to understand the difference between a need and a want, and you're going to spend your money on needs before you spend your money on wants. That way you don't come over here and say, oh, Jaspreet, how do you expect me to invest my money when all of my money is going into my Beamer? Now it's time for number 7, to buy your time back. Listen, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how good your financial system is if you don't have the time to actually enjoy your life and to enjoy your money. Okay, this whole time so far, we've been talking about how to build this system. That way you can use your money as soon as you get paid to build this financial freedom. But now you also need to be thinking in the back of your mind, how do you actually enjoy your life? And the way you do that is by buying your time back. That way you can do more of the things that you love, because now you're going to have the money to do it, because not only are you going to know what's a need and what's a want, but you're also going to be earning more money because your investments are going to be working to build your wealth. So now, as you're building this financial freedom, you need to know how you can actually enjoy your life. This is where you have to figure out where your time is getting the best ROI, the best return on investment, okay? At the end of the day, we can always make more money, but we cannot get more time. The amount of time we have on this earth is limited, so you want to make sure that you're using your time in the best way possible. So you want to start by figuring out what things do you hate doing and what things do you wish you do not have to do anymore. Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? Is it getting groceries? Because guess what? These things you can outsource. You can hire somebody to cook for you. You can hire somebody to clean for you. You can hire somebody to get your groceries for you. You just have to make sure it's worth your time. Right? If you're making $20 an hour and you can get somebody to clean your house for $10 an hour, and that would save you 4 hours a week, well, you can just buy your time back by hiring somebody to do that. It's the same with cooking, and it's the same with getting groceries. Find the things that you hate doing. And now, as you're building your wealth, start to use your money to buy your time back. That way you have the time to do more of the things that you love. Plus, on the flip side, once you have the system, now you can start calculating, okay, it's going to take me 35 years to where I want to be financially. But if I want to shorten that time, what do I got to do? Well, one thing you can do is get a better return on your money. Or the alternative thing that you can do is earn more money, because if you're putting more money towards your investments, towards building this wealth, then you can reach that financial goal quicker. And so if you want to earn more money, now you can think, okay, you can either work harder at your job to get more hours, you can get a promotion or a raise to make more money, or you can look for a new side hustle, start a business, take on a side job. There's a lot of different ways that you can earn more money. But in order for any of this to be possible, you need to have a clear picture of how your money is being used. That way you can get the best return out of your money and your paycheck. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our free finance and business newsletter. And as always, keep hustling. So now you have no money, but you have a shirt. This time, if you go to the counter and you give them this sweatshirt and you say, you know what? You keep this sweatshirt and I'll keep my money. Now you don't have a shirt, but you got money.